It's the first time really that I've seen Hugh Grant in this type of film. Can we get more of that, please? Heretic is directed by Scott Beck and Bryan and stars Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, and Chloe East. It tells the story of two Mormon missionaries who try and convert a recluse Englishman, but they soon realize that they may be in mortal danger, and this man is more sinister than he first appears to be. I was interested in seeing Heretic mainly because of Hugh Grant. I was really curious to see what Hugh Grant was going to do with this role in a horror movie, and I was blown away by this film. I thought that it was really entertaining, really solid, and there were a couple of parts where I was really on the edge of my seat wondering what was going to happen. There's a lot of tension, there's a lot of suspenseful moments, and there isn't a ton of gore, but there are a couple of moments where there are some pretty violent scenes, and I was really entertained for most of it. I was really a big fan of this movie, and I really am looking forward to more horror movies produced by A24, because this studio knows what they are doing when it comes to horror. They produce some of my favorite horror movies of all time, like Hereditary or Midsummer, Under Skin. They know what they're doing, and Heretic is just another example of that. The direction of this movie is really great, and these two guys really made something special here, in my opinion. I like the claustrophobia element of it as well. I like movies that take place in mostly one location, and Heretic is no exception. But of course, this movie isn't for everyone, because it's a dialogue heavy movie. It's about religion, and I think that some people will go in this movie and will come out disappointed because it's going to be marketed in a certain way, and they're going to be expecting something, but they're not going to get what they came into this movie for. Hugh Grant's performance is really fantastic. He makes this entire movie for me. It's just really great to see him outside of his probably comfort zone, because he's more viewed as this comedic presence, and here he's in this very serious and intense horror film. The performances of both Sophie Thatcher and Chloe East were great in this film. I thought they really had just great chemistry with one another, and both of them really just were magnificent in this movie. I just really enjoyed what they did, and I thought that the movie also really made a good effort to flesh out their characters. Sometimes in the horror movies, the main characters are just walking corpses, if you can call them that. They're just there to die, but here I felt they were real characters, and I care for them. And this movie is mostly all dialogue, so he talks a lot, and the two nuns have a good back and forth with Hugh Grant, and their conversations is really interesting. And Hugh Grant, he commands the screen, and he just steals every scene he's in. His mannerisms, the way he talks, just the way he thinks, even you just are drawn into his character, and you want to know more about his character. You want to know the next thing that he's gonna say, because he says some wild things in this movie. It's been a while since I've seen such an interesting character, and just the way he was written was really something else, something that we rarely see in horror movies nowadays. The guy, make no mistake about it, is a psychopath, and I liked all of it. I thought that it was such an interesting take on religion. He explains his reasoning, his motivation, in such a clear way. You understand it. You don't really agree with him, but you understand his motivation, and I think that it makes this movie much more scarier. There's a scene where he brings out some board games, and it's so well acted. It's just a brilliant scene. And like, I was really on the edge of my seat throughout this movie. I was wondering what was gonna happen next, because like, I don't really remember the trailer. I try to avoid all trailers now, because I know like the marketing, it's gonna like market this movie in something that it really isn't. I really avoided most of the trailers. I saw like the first trailer once, and that was it. So I went really in this movie blind, and I was really impressed with what I saw, and I was on the edge of my seat. There's a lot of tension in this movie. I was really entertained. There are some flaws, mostly with like character motivations. Sometimes they do some stuff that don't really make sense. There's this added character played by Topher Grace that I thought could have had an extended role. We see him a little bit, but like, he isn't really essential to the plot of the film. So I would have liked to for this character to have done more than he did. Also, the ending of the movie, I wasn't huge on. I thought that it was a little too open-ended for my taste. It could have been wrapped up a little better in my opinion, but that's about it for my cons. I just really enjoy this movie, and I just don't understand why it wasn't released in October. There was like really no competition except Smile 2, but I'm sure this movie is a lot better than Smile 2, so I don't understand why this wasn't like an October release. I think that it would have made a lot more money. I thought that it was a good time. I give Heretic a B+. So those are my thoughts on Heretic. Let me know what you think about the movie down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.
Should we ask him for help? It doesn't matter what you say to him.
So you have to go doon in order to go hoot.
I beg your pardon? The only way out is through. Is this the game?
High five.
From now on, we challenge him.
For the rest of your lives, there will be before you chose, and there will be after. Ladies, verbally acknowledge, please.
What have you been looking for? What have you found?
Scary. Have you figured it out yet?